So, I mean, we've kind of touched on it right now, but obviously another one of our major headlines this week around the same time that Watt made his release from the Texans' public knowledge. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported that Watson is, quote, intrigued, unquote, by the Denver Broncos and San Francisco 49ers. Fowler also downplayed rumors that Watson is interested in the Jets. This news comes after weeks of conflicting reports. Of course, we've heard some people say that, Watson had made a list and the Jets were number 1 and the Dolphins were number 2. And there was other people saying there is no list, that he just wants out and that he would basically welcome a trade to any team. So, I mean, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what you guys think. If you want to believe these reports, Kayla, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't know that I believe these reports. I think that Deshaun Watson is saying anything really to stir up drama and reporters so that people will pay attention to this. And hopefully the more trouble he causes, the easier they will let him go from the Texans. I think that even though he says he's intrigued by the Broncos and 49ers, I think that if the Texans are to do something, they're going to look towards the Jets, who could offer them maybe a better package in a trade. But between the Broncos and 49ers, I would say the Broncos probably have a better chance because they own the number 9 overall pick compared to the 49ers. I think they have like number 12 or something like that. So if he actually wants to go to the Broncos and 49ers, and those are the only teams he wants, then I would say it would be the Broncos. But why wouldn't you want to go to New York? Like, what does Denver have? I guess that New York doesn't have.
Well,
I don't know.
They have players. The Jets have none. So that might be the start of it. If you want to be a Niner, at least. The Niners are a good team. If you add Deshaun Watson, they are competitive, right? They have a good defense there. We think that he likes Robert Saleh, and that seems to be the only thing that would explain why he's interested in the Jets. But this is so confusing. It's been such a saga, and the reports are such a mess. It's everywhere. And I don't really know what to believe, but I agree with you that I think that's part of the strategy on his camp is just kind of flood the airways with rumors to make sure the Texans get the message. I do not want to be a Texan. That's, I think, the one solid thing here. The one thing that I know is that when all is said and done, he's not going to be a Houston Texan. I can say that with a fair deal of confidence, although, of course, Houston is representing something different. But they are going to get a lot for him. Who it's going to be, I don't know. And ultimately, Deshaun Watson's going to control that. He has a no trade clause. So the factor of where he wants to go, it does matter because at the end of the day, he can veto a trade and he can sort of hold the Texans hostage and say, I want to go to San Francisco, which I think would be a great place to play. I think would be a more attractive place to play than the Jets. Of course, I want him to be a Jet, but he sort of controls this.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, first off, I don't believe the report. I mean, the major red flag is the Broncos. I'm sorry. I don't understand why anyone would be intrigued to play for the Broncos. Yeah, they have a very
John
old,
Elway. I mean,
very old defensive-minded head coach in Vic Fangio.
Right.
Who on this team are you intrigued by? You want to play with Jerry Jeudy? I mean, I don't see why someone would want to go to the Broncos. And as far as the 49ers, they got playmakers, but this is the thing, and we've heard different reports about what the Texans might want in a trade for Deshaun Watson. And, there are two scenarios been kind of floated out. One is they want a lot of picks, or the other thing is they want picks and an established quarterback. Because if we're being honest, I mean, I think virtually every team in the NFL, aside from maybe Kansas City with Mahomes and maybe Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, would agree that, or Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, would agree that Deshaun Watson would be an upgrade over their current quarterback situation. So if a team can offer it, the mere idea for the Texans is we just want to get out of this headache and we don't necessarily want to draft a young guy, then I think that really opens up the playing field. But if the question is they want draft capital, I don't think the Broncos would fit either of those needs. I don't think they have the picks or the established quarterback to send them. 49ers, a little bit closer to that, but Jimmy Garoppolo, is that the guy that you're going to want? I think I don't know. I don't remember what the name of the reporter is, but a reporter for the Houston Chronicle, I believe, came out and said, that the Texans are adamant they're not trading Deshaun Watson, but if they are, this is just one person's opinion, it would be to the Jets. So that would incline me to believe that what they want is draft capital and they want the young guy. And the Jets, in my opinion, and the Jets and the Dolphins are probably the only teams that can really match that.
Well, let me ask you this. If you don't believe this new report from Fowler, do you believe the initial report?
No, I don't believe that report. That
indicated that the Jets were
I don't believe that.
Favorite?
I mean, I would like to believe that. I don't think it's true. My personal opinion is this is the fact that we've had people say he wants this team, he wants that team. I just think that You have people who are desperate to get a scoop out there. Maybe they think, this is the bottom line. I just think Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston, and maybe he'll veto a trade to certain teams. But I think that it's just the idea that he wants to get out. And I just think he wants out of that organization. And I think, frankly, he doesn't really care too much where he's going to go. That's just me speculating.
I think he probably cares. I think Houston would like to go to the Jets because the Jets are going to have the biggest package, right? The Jets are going to be able to offer the most. So it's in Houston's interest to get the story out there that he wants to be a Jet. It's in Deshaun's interest to get the story out there that he wants to be wherever he wants to be. If that's San Francisco, I think it would make a ton of sense to go work with what's his name, Shanahan, and so. But I think who's the winner here? The winner is the New York media, because look, what are we doing now? And how many hours have we spent talking about Deshaun Watson? It's a story. It's getting people sort of chomping at the bit for a real quarterback to come to the Jets. It's gotten us excited, gotten us, thinking that this is possible. But the winner is pretty much our business, talk radio, sports radio, just been able to say Deshaun Watson might be a Jet. I mean, do we really know that?
It'll be funny when nothing happens. When the Texans
it'll be funny to everybody except us, the Jet fans.
Yeah. I mean, I would, another thing to consider is that, you had his agent, Deshaun's agent on Twitter, tweet out that, a lot of this reporting about him interested in teams, and this is prior to the Fowler report, but it's misleading. It's not true. I mean, he could be shooting that down just for the sake of shooting it down, but
that's what McNair said.
And also we're hearing that, that Deshaun's going to show up to OTAs, which, I mean, if you're a player that wants out, I mean, I don't, you're not exactly enforcing your will by showing up to team activities, because what you're saying is, I want to leave, but I'll still play. And Deshaun doesn't seem like a Jamal Adams type. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to create such a toxic environment that you have to get rid of him. But if he really wants out, that's what he's going to have to do.
McNair said yesterday, today we focus on JJ, but Deshaun is our JJ Watt. Sorry, that sounded weird to me. Deshaun is our quarterback. He is a Texan. We expect him to remain a Texan, and we'll leave it at that. That's what he said yesterday. So I know that Deshaun Watson wants out, but that doesn't mean that he will get out necessarily.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And I for the longest time have just assumed that he's going to leave because of the swirl here. It just feels like, how do you go back to the locker room and try to lead a locker room after all of this has come around? So to me, it's so severed. It's so broken. But then again, I mean, maybe it is possible that Houston holds on to him, because ultimately they get to make that decision.
Yeah, I think that it could be a bad move, because why do you want to keep a quarterback who wants nothing to do with your organization? I think that would filter down and into like a bad, like you said, locker room environment. But I mean, that's ultimately up to them. They clearly are not running a well-oiled machine, so they might just keep him for spite,
Right.